All right, so you ready to jump into the world of Chaturbate?
Let's do it. The latest data from CB Explorer is pretty interesting this month.
Yeah, over 111,000 active performers in the last week alone.
Yeah.
It's wild. And that number's been pretty consistent since April, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. Seems like the platform has found its balance, Performers and viewers are at some kind of equilibrium.
Wow, 111,000 performers. I mean, with that many people, who's really at the top right now?
Well, Hot Falling Devil still has the most followers, but they haven't been around much lately. Ma Xiang is actually leading the pack for active models.
Interesting. So it's not just about getting a huge following. What else matters?
Having followers is just one part of it. Look at Kavlon and Halix, both going for that third spot in the follower rankings, right? Halix streamed like crazy last month, 24 times. But Kaylan, she only went live 6 times.
Okay, so Halix is definitely consistent.
For sure, but get this. When Kaylin streams, she gets more than double the viewers. Double.
So it's about quality over quantity. People get excited, there's a buzz, and bam, huge viewership.
Okay, so we've talked about the performers. What about the viewers? What's the breakdown there?
Women are definitely a driving force. 68% of broadcasters are women, and they pull in 73% of the viewership.
That's a pretty clear preference there. What about couples?
This is where it gets interesting. Couples are only about 5% of the broadcasters, but they get a much bigger slice of viewership, like 14%.
Wow, they're punching above their weight. So there really is a niche for everyone. Some are just more popular.
What about the tech side of things? Anything new for viewers?
They're finally catching up. You can share photos and private messages on mobile now.
It's about time. Feels like such a basic feature these days. So they're focusing on the mobile experience more.
Seems like it. And for the tech-savvy performers, CB Cam Insights has some cool new stuff.
Yeah, I was curious about that. What's changed?
Well, they fixed a big issue with Lovince.
Lovince?
It's a system for interactive toys. Viewers can, well, you get the idea. Integration has been an issue, so this is big for performers who use it.
Wow, that's pretty next level interaction.
Yeah.
So CB Cam Insights is about more than just tech support, though.
Oh, yeah. Now you can get detailed earnings breakdowns, like from tips, purchases, private shows.
That's got to be helpful, knowing where the money comes from.
And it gets even better. They're using AI to summarize the chat logs now.
Hold on, really? That's wild.
Yep, AI picks out the main topics and sentiment from the chat. Talk about understanding your audience.
That's amazing. Tech is really changing things up. We also saw something about CB Explorer.
Oh yeah, that's aiming to be the place for finding people on Chaturbate. They've got new features for live stream stats and even highlight recently updated profiles. Visibility is everything in this industry.
It's a whole ecosystem for both performers and viewers.
Mm.
Before we move on, what's the one thing you think people should know about all this?
It's way more complex than it seems.
Like an iceberg.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Data, technology, the relationships between performers and viewers. It's a microcosm of the creator economy playing out right in front of us.
That's fascinating stuff. Speaking of data, let's dig into those CB Explorer numbers, shall we?
Let's do it. It's interesting, when you look at the data from CB Explorer, it really shows you the difference between performer demographics. Like we said, lots of women on the platform, right? But it's more than just numbers. They're streaming way more than the guys, too.
So more women, A&D, they're more active. But does that equal success? I mean, are they actually getting more viewers during their streams?
Good question. Now, you'd think the top women are making bank, right?
Right.
But a lot of them, even in the top 1,000 by followers, they're only getting like 50 to 250 viewers per stream on average.
Really? I would have thought it'd be way more, especially for the top performers. What about the men and trans performers then?
Unfortunately, their viewership is even lower, often somewhere between 50 and 100 viewers. It's tough. Even on a platform like Chaturbate, it seems like those societal biases are still there.
Yeah, it makes you appreciate the ones who break through even more. The report mentioned something about unicorns.
Ah, yeah, the unicorns. They're a rare breed. Most models in that top 1,000, they've got around 200,000 to 300,000 followers. But over 500,000, almost unheard of. And over 1 million. Forget about it. To get to that level, you need serious dedication and a good head for business.
It's like they're building a brand beyond the platform.
Yeah.
It's not just about being online, it's about connecting with viewers on a whole other level. And speaking of connecting, you mentioned something about performers having multiple models on one account.
Right, some accounts, especially with female models, it's like a team effort. They've got multiple performers on one account so they can stream way more hours. Some of them are hitting 400 to 600 hours a month.
Wow, that's more than a full-time job. Think about the organization involved. scheduling, keeping the brand consistent, making sure everyone gets their time to shine. It's a whole operation.
Totally. And you know what else CB Explorer's data shows? The more you stream, the more followers you get.
So consistency is key. Makes sense. More exposure, more chances to attract new viewers.
Exactly. You got to be there regularly, keep people engaged, give them a reason to come back for more.
Dedication, a plan, and a little charisma goes a long way. But it can't be easy to stand out, can it? What are some of the things performers are doing with CB Explorer to get noticed?
Well, they've got that spotlight feature for recently updated profiles.
It's like waving a flag or, hey, something new is happening here.
Right. If they change their content, their schedule, even just freshen up their profile, people will notice. And then there's the live stats for streams. Everyone's talking about those.
Okay, now I'm really curious. What's so special about these live stats?
Imagine seeing how well a stream is doing in real time. The viewer count going up and down, new followers, even the performers rank changing live.
That's incredible. Both the performer and the viewers get to see how everything works live.
Yeah.
But with all this data, you could easily drown in it, right? What's the one thing you really want our listeners to understand about CB Explorer and its role?
I think the biggest takeaway is that it's more than just a search engine or some analytics tool for Chaturbate. It shows you how things are changing in the adult industry,
Yeah.
Data, transparency, technology, it's all becoming so important.
Transparency. That's not a word you'd normally associate with this industry.
And that's why it's a big deal. Platforms like CB Explorer are pulling back the curtain, showing us the numbers, the trends, the stories behind it all.
It's like they're making information accessible to everyone, giving both performers and viewers a fairer shot.
Exactly. People can make better choices, compare things properly, and it creates a better environment for everyone involved. But transparency is only part of the story. We also need to look at the money side of things.
Right, we've talked about what Chaturbate is, the performers, the tech, the data, but now let's talk about the money. What can you tell us about how the finances work in this world?
That's where CB King Insights comes in. It gives performers a really clear breakdown of their earnings, something we haven't really seen before.
That sounds like a game changer. What kind of information are we talking about?
It's not just a total amount. It shows you exactly where the money's coming from.
Now this is getting interesting. We'll have to unpack those financial insights more when we come back. So we're back and ready to dive into the money side of Chaturbate. Building a following is one thing, but how does it all translate financially?
Right. That's where it gets real. CBCam Insights really breaks down those earnings into different categories now.
It's more than just tips though, right?
Oh yeah, it's way more than that. It shows purchases, money from private shows, even revenue from those interactive toys we were talking about.
That's a game changer. Having access to that level of detail. Performers can actually see what's working and what isn't.
Exactly. It's like, okay, so my themed shows on Tuesdays are bringing in this much, but wow, those weekend private shows are where it's at? That kind of information is invaluable.
It's like having a personal business advisor built right into the platform. But it makes you think about the bigger picture. Chaturbate is becoming more and more sophisticated, more data-driven. What does that say about the future of adult entertainment?
It's a good question. Hard to say for sure, but I think it shows that platforms are realizing that when you empower performers with data and tools, everybody wins.
Give a man a fish, feed him for a day, teach a man to fish.
Right, exactly. Giving performers the tools to understand their own success is so much better than keeping them in the dark.
And as tech keeps advancing, we're bound to see even more tools popping up. It's blurring the lines between entertainment, tech, and good old-fashioned entrepreneurship.
Absolutely. It's an exciting time to be a creator, that's for sure. And honestly, if you want to see how the creator economy is changing, Chaturbate is a great example to look at.
It really is. Between CB Explorer and CB Cam Insights, it seems like the industry is embracing data and empowering creators.
No doubt. There's a real drive to innovate and try new things, which is exciting to see.
This deep dive has been pretty eye-opening. We've covered everything from the big picture to the really specific details about performing and making money. It's clear that there's so much more to Chaturbate than meets the eye.
That's the whole point of the deep dive, right? Peeling back those layers, finding those hidden connections, getting a better understanding of something we might only see superficially.
Exactly. Well said. And for everyone listening, keep those requests coming. We'll be back soon to deep dive into another corner of the internet. See you next time.